Replacement Killers is the debut feature film from director Antoine Fuqua. It was written by Ken Sanzel and it stars Chow Yun-Fat, Mira Sorvino and Michael Rooker. It follows the somewhat cliched storyline of a hitman who decides against his better judgment, or because of his better judgment, not to make a hit. And as a result, some replacement killers are sent in to take out both the hit and him. This is basically one of those storylines that could be written on the back of a postage stamp. It feels like I've seen this in so many different iterations. Whether or not my judgment of this film would have been different had I watched it when it originally came out, I don't know, but this is the first time I've seen this film. I've heard quite a few good things about it. I remember it getting like a decent review in a lot of the film magazines that I read at the time. But watching it now, it does not seem to have dated very well at all. It's an action film, but a lot of the action is quite uninspired, it must be said. There's a lot of shootouts, a lot of guns being fired, a lot of bullets, but no fists, no kicks, no bodily contact. So I get bored with that after a while, it must be said. When I have an action film and I see people going up against each other, if it's just constant shootouts, I switch off. It bores me. I prefer the I don't know, the one-on-one-manship of two combatants going up against each other instead of people just pulling guns and blowing each other away left, right and centre. Mira Sorvino as well and Chow Yun-Fat in this seem, and I probably will take some flack for this, but woefully miscast. I don't buy them in these roles at all. Mira Sorvino here is supposed to be this toughened, hardened woman who takes no crap, and I'm just not feeling it. I watched her in Mimic recently, and I thought she was good in that film. She suited the role of this scientist quite well, I think. But here, she's going for something different, and it doesn't quite work. And like I say, with Chow Yun-Fat as well. Now I know he's done stuff like this. He's done some Hong Kong stuff like this. I think was it Hard Boiled? I think he was in. I've not seen that film. But here, there's no evidence of what the filmmakers in the extras on the DVD for this were talking about. You know, when they talk about Chow Yun-Fat, they're talking about him as this elegant, all-star action man who brings grace to these sequences. What I see when I see these films is someone who is scared to fire a gun, who blinks every time he pulls the trigger. I don't see the man that they're describing during this film. And I know Chow Yun-Fat can be graceful. I know he can do action scenes in which he brings that grace and that beauty and that gentleman kind of vibe about it. Just check out Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's one of my favourite action films of all time, and he was fantastic in that. But what he brought to that film, he doesn't bring here. So the standout in this film for me, from a casting standpoint, is Michael Rooker. This is one of those actors that you ask to reel off a list of great actors. He isn't really someone who jumps to mind instantly. But when I look at some of the stuff he's done and the ease that he brings to a lot of the roles he's had, I actually think he's a pretty underrated actor. He's a character actor, and he does a lot of the parts in movies that aren't necessarily the leads, but are pretty strong kind of supporting roles. And I think, if you really look at what he does sometimes, I think he makes it look easy, and he's pretty good here, I must say. He's not his usual type. He's a bit more of a gentle kind of soul. He's a cop, he's still a hard man, he still pulls a gun and all that, but he's also a family man in this. He's a very loving relationship for his son, and I think he pulls it off quite nicely. So what of Antoine Fuqua then? He, like I say, it's his debut as far as feature films go. I think he does all right in bringing a particular visual style to proceedings, and he does. Well, that's about it really. It's not great. I know a lot of people have a lot of love for this film. I think it's watchable, it's entertaining in various spots, and I think the first half is probably better than the second half. Like introducing all these characters and getting the characters together. There's some playful stuff going on there that I kind of like. But once it just becomes an out-and-out action flick, and it's just bullets flying, I lose interest. And because of that, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. What do you think about The Replacement Killers? Do you think I've been a bit too harsh or spot on? Please do comment below, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, cracking.